want to get into today's topic, definitely talking about fulfillment and how do you deal with feeling unfulfilled. So this was triggered by a just a statement. I called it a question yesterday, but it's not so much of a question. It's a statement that someone sent to me on my website, drrosemoulton.com. If you have a question or something you want to address, please by all means, go ahead and send me there's a tab on my website, Ask Dr. Rose, and you can ask me any question there, and I'll try to address it. I'll address it in one of these broadcasts here, definitely. And I see Demisha says she sometimes feels like her. So the statement I received was, how do I deal with being unfulfilled? I am a wife and mother, but still something is missing. Something is missing. And this was a statement, nothing more. I don't have any details about how long she's been married, how many children she has, any of those details. But the word that stood out for me is unfulfilled. And I think and I think you guys can agree with me, we all can relate to periods in our times where an unfulfillment reigned. And it could have been a specific unfulfillment. It could have been unfulfillment with a job. It could have been unfulfillment with a relationship. But sometimes we have what I like to call global unfulfillment, where we just feel unfulfilled in so many, basically all areas of our lives. And when you think about, even the word unfulfilled, it's a powerful word because there are two words in there. You can break it down and see the word full and the word fill. So when a person's talking about feeling unfulfilled, it's basically a sense of emptiness, And the truth is, a person who's unfulfilled is just simply seeking to be filled. They're seeking to be filled, to no longer feel empty. I mean, it's part of the human condition for us to feel like there's something more, that we're not empty, we're not disconnected. There's a desire for a person. There's a desire for all of us. But when you feel unfulfilled, there's such a desire to feel that emptiness with a sense of achievement, with a sense of attainment, realization, actualization, with a sense of satisfaction. I mean, we all want to have a sense of satisfaction because we know when we don't feel that things don't go well and feel well in our lives. But the danger in unfulfillment, the danger in feeling unfulfilled is that so many of us seek to remedy that feeling of emptiness or being unfulfilled by engaging in behaviors that we believe will bring us more fulfillment, but it only leads to more unfulfillment. I mean, let's be honest. I think we all, myself included, going to raise my hand, have been guilty of that. Chronic unfulfillment leads so many of us to so many other uns, Chronic unfulfillment leads to unhappiness, a sense of being unmotivated, unfaithfulness. I mean, let's be honest, there's a lot of people that come to me, and a lot of you guys listening to me today can relate to that. There's so many people where if you're such in a state of unfulfillment, it leads to so many other reckless behaviors, and many of the ones I just named, and some of you guys can give me some that I'm sure you can relate to also. But I've oftentimes said it's amazing how reckless we can become, when we are unhappy or unfulfilled. Think about that. And recklessness that we turn inward. People, when they become reckless, when you're unfulfilled and you seek improper ways of fulfilling it, we can seek ways that will hurt us more inwardly, such as depression, substance abuse, overeating. I mean, this is just to name a few. You guys can name many more, I'm sure. Or we can do things that will hurt us outwardly, like lashing out at others, anger, promiscuity, overspending. People do a lot of that. I've had clients over the years, even they feel unfulfilled and they'll find themselves at the casino several times a week, betting the mortgage money or what have you. But recklessness is a real danger when you have a sense of unfulfillment. And most people who identify as being unfulfilled, they're just like you and me, just like the next person. Some of you on this, like I said, broadcast now have a sense of being unfulfilled right now, and that's okay. But when I think about the original statement that this woman stated in her statement that she entered on the website there, what really stands out to me, other than the word being unfulfilled, is that her statement was, I am a wife and a mother. I am a wife and a mother. And I'll tell you this, as a psychologist, one thing that holds true is that what really leads to a sense of unfulfillment for so many people is a lack of awareness of who they are. Because think about it, a wife and a mother, two admirable roles. I can relate to both of those roles, but it does not describe the true essence of who a person is. And for far too many of us, we have lived our lives by identifying ourselves with labels: wife, mother, worker, whatever your career title is. Have you ever met someone and the first thing they share with you is what they do for a living? You know, that gives you no idea of who a person is. In order for you to have a sense of fulfillment, you have to have a firm understanding of who you are. Who's the true essence of who you are? Not the labels that you've attached to yourselves. And a lot of us have been erroneously just conditioned to believe that our true meaning in life comes from career. It comes from the labels that we may have, the relationships we may have. But the true essence and true fulfillment is inward. It's inward. I recently heard someone who's a relation expert say that if you want a truly happy life, you have to understand that, you know, these labels we have, career, wife, mother, they're just they're pieces of the overall pie. You have to have a full life. Think about it, full. That's the word in unfulfilled too. You have to have a full life. And a full life is understanding what's going to bring you fulfillment, separate from these labels and roles that they may have. So some of the things I want you guys to consider is, who are you? 3 simple words. Who are you? Believe it or not, that it seems like the easiest question you can ask, but over the years when I ask clients and patients and seminar participants this question, you'll be amazed. Most people immediately answer with the labels they have. Well, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, or I'm an aunt, or I'm a doctor, or I'm an attorney, or I'm a teacher, or whatever. I'm a secretary, whatever it may be. But I say, no, who are you? So I'll ask a little deeper. And it's very difficult for a person. They even feel uncomfortable when those questions are asked because they've never really given it any thought. So in response to this statement from this woman who stated, how do I deal with being unfulfilled? I'm a wife and a mother, but still something is missing. What's missing is you. What's missing is you. And it's time for you to rediscover who you are. That is chapter 1 of my book, Bloom 7 Steps of Personal Transformation. I thought I had a copy here. But chapter 1, the longest chapter in this small book, small, powerful book, is rediscovering you, because that's the most important thing that you could possibly do in your life to find fulfillment, is to rediscover who you are, separate from all these roles, but who you are, the true essence of who you are. And I know personally, and I tell my story in my book, I didn't find fulfillment in my own life. I lived the first few decades of my life just in this sense of unfulfillment. I could rack up the degrees, I could rack up accomplishments and honors and homes and all these things, material trappings that we were told were supposed to make us fulfilled. But honestly, there was no sense of fulfillment there because I had lost touch long time before that of who I was. And many of us lose that touch and lose that connection with ourselves so early on in life for so many different reasons. So I want to invite you guys, because it's so much more I want to talk about this topic. And I'm going to, if you haven't subscribe to me or follow me on Periscope. Follow me on Periscope. Those of you on Facebook, you will be notified when I go live, because I want to spend a lot of time over the next week going live and just discussing the specifics of how you can go about rediscovering you. I also want to invite you guys, if you don't have my book, why don't you have it? It's time to get it. But if you don't have it, you can actually download chapter 1 for free off my website. If you go there, enter in your email address, it will shoot you chapter 1 for free, which talks about rediscovering you. But I want to have this conversation with you guys about how can you go about really tapping into the true essence of who you are, rediscover who you are so you can have a fulfilling life, so you can have this fulfilling life and just help you just navigate this life with more joy, because honestly, that's what it's all about. If you're waking up each morning with a sense of despair and, here we go again with another day, you are not living. You're not living. You're simply surviving. You're simply going through the motions. And my job here, my purpose here on this earth is to help people understand that going through the motions is not living, and help you tap into more enjoyment, more fulfillment, so you can start living your life in full bloom, guys. So join me this week. Invite your friends to join me. Send me any questions you may have about this. I want to address these things. I want to make this a conversation. If you haven't joined my In Full Bloom with Dr. Rose group on Facebook, join it and follow me. I'll be going live several times this week talking about this topic of unfulfillment and really tapping back into who the true you actually is. So thanks, guys, for joining me once again this morning. Appreciate it always. You guys get out there, have a great day, and start thinking about that question. Who are you? Who are you? You are not your job. You are not your title. You are not your label. It's time to figure it out. Goodbye, everyone.